Welcome to IAS Market Talk, your trusted source for timely egg market insights, brought to you by Innovative Egg Services. Each week, we break down the latest beef market trends impacting Northeast Iowa and Southwest Wisconsin, with expert updates tailored specifically for our IAS members. This week, you'll hear directly from Dave Rueber, IAS Beef Production Specialist, who brings decades of experience and deep knowledge of the cattle industry to these conversations. Dave has been providing market updates to producers for years, and now he's bringing those insights straight to you through this podcast. Tune in weekly for what you need to know straight from people you know. With that, here's Dave Rueber with the latest on what's happening in the cattle markets this week.
David Rueber, Beef Production Specialist for Innovative Egg Services, calling with a beef market commentary for October 22nd. Well, this will be an interesting report. We've had a little bit of stuff go on in the last week. Last week, the president made an announcement that we were going to lower beef prices. He had a plan in place. The main gist of that plan was to import more Argentinian beef. Probably not that thing alone is not going to drive beef prices down substantially, but, it got everybody's attention. The board for both live cattle and feeder cattle were down significantly last Friday as a result. Now, cash cattle traded, at $240 for the most part last week, so they were actually up $5 because of tight supplies. Inventory that packers had purchased had gotten quite low, so cash market was up quite a bit. So Monday comes rolling around, and Tuesday, the board's kind of up a little bit, kind of recouping what it lost on Friday. And then we got a tweet out from the president today that said, kind of doubled down on his comments from last week, and basically just reinforcing that he's not giving up on driving prices down. Well, as a result, we had futures markets for feeder cattle pretty much every month, exception of I think one or two was down limit. Live cattle down $4, $5, $6. Pretty harsh reaction to those comments. We haven't traded any cash cattle yet this week. We were thinking they would probably be fairly flat. Now we got to see how the markets respond tomorrow. We might see some trade get going out in the country. It's going to be hard to think it won't be softer with all this news coming in. Box beef prices, I haven't seen, they had been kind of inching their way higher. We'll see what shakes out on that end. Just kind of a tough deal. And I'm going to read off some commentary that Cassie Fish put out today. Kind of summarizes my thoughts on this. It says, the beef industry prides itself in being independent. Business people are willing to work hard and take their chances making a living running cows, running feed yards, and running packing plants. There are risk management tools and plenty of hard statistical data to analyze to support thoughtful decision-making. Outside events have proved to have a huge impact on the cattle market in the past, and no one can outguess this one. So, we're in for a wild ride by the looks of it. We've had we had an Oprah Winfrey situation years back where, she had made a proclamation and it was awful tough on cattle markets. And we've had just weird things that seem to do strange stuff. Whether or not this is a tipping point that's put our high in and done some stuff will be determined, but it's kind of a tough day in these markets. Feeder cattle, they've been trading right all along. Cash feeder cattle not working softer. This will probably drive them down a little bit. People buying feeder cattle thought they were plenty high too, so they might be looking at this as a buying opportunity. The 8-weight steers had been running in the 360s, so they were softer than they were obviously 2 weeks ago. 7 weights in the 370s. The calves were still mainly in the mid 400s, 450, 460 for 5 weights. Like I said, look for those markets to soften a little bit here as well. Cost of gain still in that 90 to 95 for steers, closer to 95 to $1 for heifers for cost of gain. And we'll watch this fat cattle market this week. It's a wild ride that we're on right now, so I guess I'll finish it up with stay tuned. Once again, my name is David Rueber, Beef Production Specialist for Innovative Ag. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of IAS Market Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an update. And if you know a fellow producer who could benefit from this information, share this episode with them. For more updates and insights, visit innovativeag.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll catch you next time on IAS Market Talk.
Are you ready for a hands-on role with purpose? Join the facility operations team at Innovative Ag Services, where we value hard work, safety, and community. With locations across Northeast and Central Iowa and Southwest Wisconsin, we offer industry-leading benefits, on-the-job training, and a culture that supports your growth. From competitive pay to a uniform allowance, we invest in our team. Grow with IAS and discover your co-opportunity. Apply today at innovativeag.com.